In today's Leeds news, Farke explains summer recruitment, Ombang returns to Leeds, Villa injuries for Leeds trip, Stach has justified his fee, and rumour mill story on Gonzalo Garcia. Hey folks, welcome back to the Leeds View, Thursday the 20th of November with your Leeds United news. Hope your week's going well so far. Hotel background today, is what it is. The microphone sound's going to be a little bit off on this as well. So we'll do what we can. We'll get through this and back to normal environments probably from late tomorrow afternoon. We will have the press conference reaction and stuff over and big up tomorrow, as well as the stats pack and match preview out on Friday night before we get ready for the game on Sunday. So outside of that, let's crack on and get stuck into the news. Start off with Daniel Farke, who has been speaking with Sky Sports Germany. Over the last couple of days, he's been speaking with lots of different media outlets and has discussed some of the issues that Leeds faced during the summer and has also outlined the realistic expectations for the club this summer, where they were then and where they are now. Farke pointed to the PSR restrictions over the course of the summer that stopped Leeds from adding more quality to the side, but pointed out that he still wanted to be competitive in the market. On these summer signings and issues, Farke said the following: in recent years, all promoted teams have been relegated without a trace despite spending insane amounts on transfers due to financial fair play restrictions. We couldn't spend as much as some promoted teams in recent years, but we still wanted to aim to be competitive and stay in the league. That is and remains our goal. I did not expect that we would sail through so easily, that we were never in danger of relegation and are always cruising to 7 or 8 point lead over the relegation places. Farke remains realistic over the goals for this season and believes that Leeds should mimic the words of last season about not getting too high when things are going well and not getting too low when things are not going so well. But he went on and said the following: overall, we are on the right track, but I was neither over the moon, as they say in England, after the victories at Wolves or West Ham United, and I'm still in a depressed mood now because we lost an away game to Nottingham Forest, which plays in Europe. So I think that this is important to stay on a good level and balanced, and then also to lead the club stably and not be like a flag in the wind. He has a next set of games coming up that I don't think any manager in the league would envy a newly promoted side at all. And I think if you look at it, 3 home games, there might be a saving grace. The expectation level on the next set of games versus the last 4 games will be significantly lower, considering the quality of the opposition that Leeds go up against. And if Leeds can pick up a couple of points at home in Ellen Road over the course of those 4 games, that might be seen as a pretty decent block of results. Again, just considering the quality that's in that group of fixtures. But Jeff, it's not in an enviable place at all coming into that run of fixtures. But Farke's press conference, as I say, will be on Friday this week due to the game being on Sunday. We'll have reaction to that over on bigup.com. Right, let's move on. There's 21 return in Leeds United's under-21 goalkeeper Daryl Umbang has returned to the club after his short-term loan at National League North side Darlington has finished up. Umbang was brought in as an injury loan for Darlington, whose keeper was out injured. He has now returned, so they have now permitted Ombang to return to Leeds United. The young keeper managed to get 5 starts though during his short-term spell at Darlington. Did actually manage to tog out for the Leeds United under-21s on the bench as well during that time, as it was a youth loan. But Darlington are stuck to only being allowed 5 loanees in their matchday squad, and that is the main reason that they decided to let Ombang return to Leeds United. But still a good stint, and he did make the National League Team of the Week on his debut as well. But we'll give Scott Gardner some options in goal after Alex Kearns has been deputising while Rory Mahadi and Ombang have been out on loan. But they can both still and did play for the 21s when they were available as well. Let's move on and talk about the upcoming Aston Villa game. Aston Villa have plenty of quality and depth and will travel to Leeds United though with a few injury concerns over a couple of key players. It's not really that much of an issue for the more established Premier League sides. We saw that Brighton and Nottingham Forest, both sides having lots of players out when they face Leeds United, but the depth that they all have in their squads has proven to be a bit of a problem for Leeds United against those sides. But Villa have a couple of key players that are doubts for the game, not all confirmed as being out right now. Matty Cash withdrew from the Polish national side at the back end of last week after feeling something, as they labelled it, or picking up a problem during training, as well as Amadou Onana, who withdrew from the international games for Belgium at the back end of last week. They're also going to be without Lamar Bogard, as well as Ezri Konza, who both withdrew from their respective international sides. From a Leeds perspective, Leeds seem to be okay coming in off the back of the international break. There's a little niggle to Gabby Goodmunson, but he did manage to get some minutes on the park for Sweden over both their games after picking up a bit of an injury in training. He missed a couple of days. That was all. Likely will be assessed by Leeds before the game at the weekend. But yeah, you'd like to have him in there. If not, you've got James Justin, who was staying back at Thorpe Arch over the international break, and will give Leeds some options over there at left back. Not Jack Harrison. James Justin or Gabby Goodmunson. Not Jack Harrison's a left back. Wing back, different. Full back, absolutely not. Let's move on. Let's talk about Anton Stach, who's come in for some high praise. Anton Stach started the season in relatively good form for Leeds United, but an injury and a broken finger clearly had some sort of an impact on his performances over the last month or so, with Daniel Farke taking him out of the firing line while he was dealing with those two little niggles. But his return to the side against Nottingham Forest showed glimpses of the form he showed in the first couple of games of the season, although it wasn't a great day at the office for anybody involved in that match day squad. Leeds manager Daniel Farke, though, has taken time to praise Stach's arrival at Leeds United and has said he already has justified his transfer fee to the club. Stach cost Leeds £17.5 million, and Farke has hyped up his ability as well as his credentials in the dressing room and described him as a truly key player for Leeds United this season. Speaking on Stach, he said the following: Anton is a great guy and we have complete faith in him, both as a player and as a person. By English standards, it wasn't a huge amount, but for us, it was a relative large sum as he was a key summer signing for us. He has absolutely justified our faith in him and has a very solid start to the season. He's truly a key player for us. Farke did point out, though, to the difficulty that a lot of the players have coming into the Premier League from foreign leagues and how long it can take them to adjust to the standard. But he says that Stach has adjusted so far and has performed, and he puts that down to the quality that the player has. From a Leeds perspective, from a fan perspective, we really need to see a fully fit, sharp Anton Stach that we saw in those first couple of games that really could add something to Leeds over the opening days. But Daniel Farke believes that over the next few matches, we will see Anton Stach step more and more into the spotlight as he continues to grow on the side. But he did point out that he's not finished his journey yet, saying he's far from finished the journey. So good praise for the player. He's done okay so far. A bit more to come from him and a bit of growth there as well from the manager as well. So always nice to hear the balance from both sides. But yeah, we'll see what gets on the next couple of games. I think he's more than likely will play for Leeds United against Aston Villa and over these next couple of games where Leeds will need to be a little bit more defensive minded maybe than attack minded, but they'll need to sort out a couple of little niggly issues in that midfield with runners that will need to be dealt with before we get into any of those games and have any success at all from those matches. Right, we're going to move into rumour mill territory right now. This isn't for everyone. I know that. It's not your thing. No hassle. See you tomorrow. Outside of that, this one's got a little bit more meat on the bones than other ones. There's some pretty definitive statements in this one. If you can make up your own mind, I'll give you the details and who it's come from. Let's move on. Right, so we're stepping fully into rumour mill territory and bucket of salt territory with this one. I could be wrong. This could be the most credible link that we've seen so far at this tour, but Leeds clearly have got a striker on their shortlist, another striker they mentioned with Leeds United, and Leeds have 3 loan spots still available in their squad for this season. And with PSR restrictions being a problem for Leeds, but with a World Cup coming up, Leeds could be in a situation where they could use this January market to get a couple of loans, quality players in who will need minutes for the World Cup and navigate that PSR restrictive area. According to Team Talk and Sky Sports, Fraser Fletcher. So, you know the deal. Leeds are ready to offer Real Madrid a deal for striker Gonzalo Garcia. The deal is said to be a loan with an obligation to buy. The 21-year-old striker did sign a new deal with Real Madrid. He signed a deal up until 2030, but according to Fletcher, he says that they would be open to a sale of the player. He claims that Leeds United would be willing to offer a loan plus a £17 million obligation to buy that could raise with a couple of add-ons as well. Leeds are credited as having interest in Garcia over the last couple of seasons, specifically over the summer where they're said to have inquired about a move for him back then. But Fletcher says insiders at Leeds United have told him the Leeds are preparing an imminent bid, as he put it, of £17 million that could raise to $20 million after an initial loan period till the end of this season. It should be pointed out, though, however, and this is likely across Team Talk's pages of all the clubs in the Premier League, there is significant interest in Garcia. Aston Villa, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Brighton and Sunderland are all said to be keeping an eye on Garcia as well. According to Fletcher, Garcia is very much top of Leeds United shortlist. We've seen them linked with 3 strikers already so far. Troy Parrott, now Garcia, and add to that as well Frankie Lino. plenty of players in there, but they're all players that are attracting interest from lots and lots of other clubs, not just in England, but around Europe as well. So who knows? Maybe there's something in this, maybe there's not. We'll have to wait and find out. But yeah, I don't know. When it comes from team talk, you just never know. But the imminent thing as well is a month and a half before the window opens. But Leeds have said they're going to move early. We'll see what they do. They have to do something. They can't just sit in their hands this January and hope that they'll have enough to stay out of the relegation zones, and looking where the likes of Leicester, Sheffield United are this season going into next year. That championship could be a much tougher league to get out of if Leeds do end up dropping into it. So let's hope that they don't. Outside that, folks, I will wrap it up for today. We got the Content Awards tonight. You might see some stuff over on our Instagram page, Leeds View on Instagram. If you want to check that out, a couple of the lads are coming down for that as well. Outside that, have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you tomorrow, probably late afternoon tomorrow, before we get anything else out. But outside of that, enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon. Bye.